hustler friends kind of described to me what life was there on the streets. Spent hours talking to him. I took all this information and I went home and I had to write a book. And I'm gonna have more fun if you get over that fear of boredom and you learn something. Like if you learn to be a great musician, you're gonna have power, you're gonna have success. I can't take a magic wand and transform you into a fearless person. You have to do it yourself. Well, I have another book to work on. It's temporarily called The Master Player, but I don't really like that title, so we'll probably change it. But what I'm doing is I'm taking all 3 of my books, or 4, and I'm kind of creating the sort of ultimate, it's like The Secret, but, you know, that book, The Secret, but for realistic people, no spirituality. I've kind of figured out what makes anything in life work. And I'm going to reveal this secret as much as I can. You know, people might wonder, like the last chapter is about the fear of death, and you might think, well, that's a heavy book. I mean, that's I don't know if I want to do that. But you know, that's one of the main things about 50. He nearly died, and it kind of changed him. But the point is, we all have a date with death. If it turns into a positive thing, where if you realize my days are numbered, I maybe only have 40, 50, 60 more years to live, it makes you get up in the morning, and I do this myself, and I go, I gotta really get a lot out of this day. I gotta get more out of it than I would normally. I have to have energy. I have to think, you know, what if I die tonight? I have to act with a sense of urgency. And that chapter, which is chapter 10, has actually helped me a lot, because I think about it every morning, and it makes me like really put more effort into things. You can't believe, it's like a feeling of liberation. You feel like you're out of prison. If you're afraid of your boss or something, and suddenly you decide, I'm not going to feel afraid of him, you feel like you suddenly have options. You could quit, you could stay and do something else, but you feel free. Fear is like something that keeps you in prison. So I just think you can always move closer to this ideal. Let's admit that genetics will play a role. Some people are born with less fear in them than other people. But everybody has fear. You know, you come into this world crying. You're thrust out of the womb into the world, and you're a terrified little 8 or 9 pounds. We're all born with fear. But what 50 had that's unique is that he never had a father that he knew, and his mother died when he was 8 years old. So he had to confront the fear that everybody has in a real way, and either overcome it or die, you know? I mean, it literally was that real to him. If he didn't overcome this and feel like he could handle himself, he wouldn't be here now. You know, a lot of us, we don't have to confront that. We have a mother and a father, and we can kind of pretend that we're not alone in this world. 50 couldn't pretend. He knew he was alone. He knew he had to do these things for himself. And so he overcame these fears at the age of 10, when most of us are still, you know, sucking our thumbs and doing ABC in school. And that made him a powerful person at the age of 12, and then he just took it further and further and further. So he has an advantage that a lot of us don't have, but all of us can do the same thing. We can catch up to him in a way, you know. And I said it's a process of realizing that you've got fears inside of you, and then confronting them and moving past them. He's a master seducer. I've been in his hotel room when he's been on the phone with some woman, and I could take a lot of lessons from him, how to talk to a woman on the telephone. In fact, maybe that should be my next book. He's really good at it. I've heard some amazing stuff. And he's, you know, 50's sort of a charmer. He kind of seduces anybody. You know, he's really good at seducing journalists. He probably did it to me, and that's why I wrote the book. You know, I'm probably a victim of that as well. But, you know, he does that with everybody. As far as me, I don't know. It's not good for me to say whether I'm a good seducer. You have to go ask the women in my life and see what they think. I'll give you some of their phone numbers. You can call them up. Hey, this is Robert Greene, and you're watching Thisis50.com.